We're here, people. Episode 3. Thank y'all for being here. What's up, Tiger fans? What's up, man? We here. We're crawling through the last game in Death Valley, officially. And needless to say, we were trash. Needless to say, we were trash Saturday night in Death Valley. And I think most of the fan base already knew that we were going to be trash because it was not a packed house to say it was senior night. It was very much lackluster offensively for us. And that kind of brought me back full circle of our decision to make Joe Sloan our offensive coordinator. You know, when the play calling is just looks dense most of the season, well, all season, but it's full circle to where I see now that this is more than play calling. I'm just being real. This is more than play calling. Western Kentucky versus LSU in Death Valley Saturday night proves that the entire offense and staff needs to be wiped out and replaced. I'm sorry. Offensive line, I mean, I know it's a lot of young pieces, a lot of young talent, but we've been getting beat with simple stunts all season long. Western Kentucky was doing it all night, getting through. Couldn't run the ball against Western Kentucky. We couldn't run the ball at all. We can't get a push against Western Kentucky. You know, I'm not going to go over any stats or nothing like that. I'm not going to even bother. It was atrocious, you know. Run game, again, non-existent. Passing game, chippy. Drop balls, again. Barry and Brown, I believe is his name. I had a lot of hype behind him coming in through the transfer portal, but I mean, I understand it's the offensive line. You know, it's quarterback play. It's decision makers by the quarterback. The quarterback gets you the ball. But he's got like 8 drops in probably the past 2 games. And it has gotten terrible. I mean, I don't know why we're not playing. Oh my God, what's the guy from Louisiana, man? He went to Florida State. He was a transfer. He came in, got a catch, got a first down. They took him right back out. I'm sorry, man, if I'm just blanking on your name right now. But Destin Hill, we haven't played him all season. Now, I don't know if it was injuries or whatnot, but he's just not been playing. When Nick Anderson was healthy, we were not playing him correctly. Somehow we was playing this run happy offense, double tight ends with 2 tight ends that cannot block. Like, we don't even have the, presence of mind to put in blocking tight ends, trying to be, I guess, with the play calling, trying to be, I guess, I don't want to say cute, but just trying to fool them. I just can't think of a better word right now, but atrociously. Like, Tre'Davious Green has no business blocking. He's always in a route, always. If he's not the check down, he's vertical. If he's on the linebacker, don't look to nobody else. You look to Tre'Davious Green. Whoever our coach is for the next season, Tre'Davious Green is a big piece. You don't think they pushing that to Lane Kiffin? You don't think Lane Kiffin will not have him first round bound in the NFL with Tre'Davious Green as a weapon for Lane? That's just one. Tre'Davious Green should never be in blocking. He's always in a route. Bauer Sharp should never really be in blocking. You know, he should always be on the route. We got to recruit guys for blocking. Who cares if they know we're going to run the ball? You get some guys in there on the offensive line, which we're going to have to replace some pieces. I'm sorry. That 5-star rating, I mean, I'm pretty sure Brad Davis is not coaching them to block that way because they're whiffing on a lot of blocks. Again, they can't, control the stunts. Any team can just run a stunt on us and they get through. I'm pretty sure Brad Davis is coaching his heart out, but who knows if he's still here, whatever coach that comes in. Whichever coach comes in, I'm hoping it's Lane. But whatever coach comes in, I'm hoping he's going to want to run the ball. And not just saying we run the ball all the time. It's just we got to be a more physical team because this team this year, softer than Charmin tissue. Especially at the offensive line. Every team we played have been more physical than us in the trenches. There's never been LSU. There's at least if we're not having a good season, you're not beating us in the trenches. That's one thing we always have. So we got to get back to that. And again, I'm hoping it's Lane Kiffin. I'm hoping he comes in, but he can decide to stay. There's a reality. He can decide to go to Florida. That's a reality. But I'm pretty sure LSU gave him the best pitch, man. I'm pretty sure. I'm just gonna have one more comment on the game, and then I'll just go to the Lane Kiffin saga, as they're calling it. But defensively, and again, full circle, we do have a better defense this year. If we had this defense on the past 2 years with Jaden Daniels, come on, man. We're having a totally different story about Brian Kelly, but things happen for a reason. But, man, it's just a crime to have so much talent wasted, man. And I'm not saying it's a waste because Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, they're in the NFL, impact players for their team. But Jaden Daniels, man, when he first came to LSU, I'm sorry for going back to that, but when he first came to LSU, I was telling everybody he should start right off the bat because I used to watch him at Arizona State late at night when I don't have anything else to watch on TV. I'm watching Arizona State and Jaden Daniels at quarterback where, Herm Edwards was head coach at the time doing his thing, but that's neither here or there. But Brian Kelly wasted a lot of talent just by decision making in the staff. And I can, I don't want to kick him. I mean, while he's down, he's not down. He's getting over $50 million buyout. So he's not upset about nothing. But he's moved on. But the lazy hires, and not just the Joe Sloan hire, but to me, that was a lazy hire. You could have just, you had the guy that Jaden Daniels brought his play calling to the field, executing it very well, being coachable. There's no way you should be pushing Joe Sloan, like forcing him to be the offensive coordinator. That was the death of us, I believe, right there. To let that offensive coordinator leave. I'm just blinking on his name right now. I'm just so sorry with the bad journalism. I get better, but for us to just let him go to Notre Dame and Notre Dame the next year in the national championship game. Come on, man. But again, I want to digress off of Brian Kelly, but his bad decision making throughout the staff killed us. Matt House, need I say more? But again, Saturday night defensively, LSU is a better defense. and have a chance. I mean, whoever comes in again can make us better. Now, will Blake Baker be the defensive coordinator for next year? For the next coach? Who knows? But I do know one thing. Frank Wilson and Corey Raymond are a no touch. Like a no go. Like they stay no matter what. You know, they stay no matter what. But defensively, we played better. We played another solid game. I mean, Western Kentucky was moving the ball, running the ball. The tackling was horrible. We can't make a tackle. I mean, I just don't get it. It was cool seeing the Weeks brothers out there, all three. Never been done before. That was pretty cool, but we got to get better at linebacker. I Y'all let me know, man. We got to get better at linebacker. I love Whit Weeks. And I know he's been going through a lot of injuries, man. I know that's tough. He should sit the rest of the season now. I know we got the game against Oklahoma. He may try to play, but I think he needs to cool it. I believe he's staying for his senior year. And, hopefully he can talk to his lady and, let her know, look, man, just tell your pops, come on. That way we can spend more time together, But that ain't my business, but gotta do what you gotta do to get Lane here. But we gotta get better linebacker play. And I think, we can address that through the transfer portal because I don't want my boy Devon Keys in coverage ever. And I believe, with personnel decisions have been killing us too on defense, not to get too technical, not too coachy, but at some point you got to know that he cannot be in on third down situations. Devon Keys, that is. He's a solid linebacker. Solid. But he can't cover at all. He can't cover at all. He shouldn't be in on third down situations. Second and long situations. Shouldn't be in. Devon Keys, that's my boy. I love him. He's a solid linebacker. Devon Keys should not be in on third down. I love Blake Baker, but he can't be in there. I'm just saying. So that has to improve. Personnel changes throughout the game defensively. If we can stay solid, with a solid corner, not switching out our corners, Pickett should be solid for us next year. If all goes well, we keep Corey Raymond, which I'm pretty sure whoever comes in here will do it because we can't leave without Corey Raymond and Frank Wilson. Recruiting-wise in Louisiana, if you do that, we will not succeed as a program. If you get rid of Frank Wilson and Corey Raymond, I don't even know why I'm delving into this, it will be the death of us again, and we made a bad decision. Whoever came in. But I'm pretty sure whoever comes in will be smart enough to know that we need to keep Corey Raymond and Frank Wilson. But again, for next year, DJ Pickett will be a solid corner for us. Woodland is doing his thing, man. PJ Woodland. I kind of want him at the slot. I really do. Cooley is getting solid, man. Again, his tackling, man. It's not. His tackling has been horrible. I'm just being real. Cooley, the safety, his tackling has been horrible. I mean, he's been okay in coverage. He's been holding his own in coverage to me. So that's one good thing. He should still be here for next year. Hopefully he gets better, whoever comes in. But personnel-wise, man, we need better linebacker play and D-line play. And apparently we're going to have to replace a lot of production at the DN spot, at the star position. who gonna come in or who's gonna, improve, who's gonna get better and start at the start position. But we have to see what's out there in the market. Hopefully we can get a decision by the Egg Bowl by Lane Kiffin. Matter of fact, let's just go there. I'm just gonna get on Lane Kiffin. We'll do that. So one more game in Oklahoma. I'm pretty sure we'll get our teeth kicked in. I will still watch and I will still cheer us on, but I'm pretty sure we're losing that next week. But it's still go Tigers. I'm just being real, but we've been pretty all season. Let me know if y'all heard that too in the comments. YouTube, hit me up on YouTube, man. Subscribe, like, check me out. I just go into a segment. I'm gonna plug my stuff, man. On YouTube, it's Go Blue Sports Podcast on YouTube. LSU FANDAN. Subscribe, man. Hit me up. Let me know if you hear the sound bites. I'm trying to get better at this. I get better as I go along. TikTok, that's LSU FANDAN1 on TikTok. On Instagram, I believe it's LSU_FANDAN. I'm gonna start having it around. The overlays. I'm gonna start getting them together. But that's my socials, y'all. Hit me up. Interact with me. I appreciate the support I've been getting on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube. But leave your comments, man. I love to interact with you. But we're gonna go to the Lane Kiffin saga. Lane Kiffin. That's a name that every team wants to have at the helm to run their program. So Lane Kiffin's in a good spot, man. What can I say? I mean, so much in a good spot that he's telling the Ole Miss brass what he wants to do and how he want to do it. Rumor has it, Ole Miss, AD, president, everyone coming together. Hey, give him an ultimatum. You're going to have to make a decision soon. And they gave us a day. It was this past Friday. And Lane Kiffin told him, look, I'll make my decision around the Egg Bowl. And probably just got up and walked out. And they were like, okay, well, do your thing. Win us the Egg Bowl. Because he's still coaching. Me personally, I ain't think they were going to take that kind of disrespect. But anyway, man, it's just how the game goes now. With how much money getting thrown around. NIL packages. You paying the players, Money's flowing. So I guess that's just the era we're in. But again, Lane Kiffin has a decision to make. And he said give him, a little after Thanksgiving. What do you guys think he's going to decide to do? When he stay at Ole Miss, man, is he really letting all this chatter go on and he's staying? Or would he come home? That's home. You want me to tell you why I know it's home for him? You're talking about a program that needs a spark right now. This season can't be over quick enough, man. It can't be over quick enough for us right now. This has been a terrible, terrible season for us. And, they're still fighting and things, but this season is over with. We need Lane Kiffin. We really do. So much so that we're willing to pay him. What was the deal? 7 years? Not even 10. Basically over $98 million. Plus, they promised him the money towards NIL and recruiting. with like $25 million. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. $25 million. $25 million. And that's for the NIL and recruiting high school players, building the roster. And who knows how much goes towards the staff. We'll see. And Kiffin is talking about bringing back Ed Orgeron if he's brought in. Well, that's, rumors. Nothing's been made official. But I remember me saying in my last episode, Go Blue Sports Podcast, LSU FANDAN on YouTube, that whoever comes in, if it's not even Lane, that we should bring Ed Orgeron onto the staff for something. But whatever he is, make sure he's part of the recruiting process, please. Make him the head of that. If you don't want to recruit so much, bring him in, let him be ahead of that. Him, Frank Wilson, Corey Raymond, let them go do their things. I don't know if Blake Baker is staying or not. So I hope he does, just give him better players. We get some things rolling. But again, back to it. Lane Kiffin, 7 years, $98 million, $25 million plus towards NIL, high school players, to get the roster right. Ed Orgeron could join the staff if Lane Kiffin's brought on. Man, I say it's a match made in heaven. And I would go even further to say, if Lane Kiffin comes and takes over, we could have a turnaround quicker than we would imagine. Dare I say next season? Because if you really finna give him the money, he can get any player he want, basically. And he will know how to use them. Get him a quarterback. What if Lenore Sellers? Or, it's gonna be some good quarterbacks in the transfer portal. Get him a quarterback. We can have major changes within one season. Especially if he brings in a bunch of seasoned guys with the talent that fits his scheme. I don't know if he brings his guy from Ole Miss, if he comes, Lane Kiffin that is. I don't know if he brings him from Ole Miss to LSU to be the offensive coordinator. I wouldn't mind it. They seem to be doing pretty good. And I know we should be able to get the better prospects out of high school and, transfer portal. Who knows? For him. We get Lane Kiffin, man, it's over. That's why I believe so many platforms don't want him. They rather see him in Florida. You listen to the guys on ESPN, those college guys. They don't want him coming to LSU. They don't want him to come to LSU. If Lane Kiffin comes to LSU, it's over for college football as we know. He's getting at least 3. And the only reason I can stand behind it because the talent pool is too big in Louisiana. You don't think we're going to stretch our hands out in Texas too with Lane Kiffin? Mississippi, he's going to be able to get those top prospects out of Mississippi if he's at LSU. That's why he should come. That's why he should be here.